Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Made of Things. I said welcome back because I'm assuming you left and are now returning. If in fact you have listened to another episode of Made of Things, then not only am I right, as you have probably noticed how I'm talking about returning from things again, which seems to be my mood in the past few weeks. Even though I'm not a very throwback person, I always tend to look to the present and somewhat to the future, but not that you care. But you know, some people are really fixated on the past, and I'm not one of those. So this was not purposefully done at all, and it's probably just an unconscious message my brain wants to get across, like, you be like this, and I'm saying like, oh, I'm something else entirely, but then no, it's just, you know, the paradoxes of the human existence. Before we get things going with Made of Things, that's one too many things. Before we get Made of Things going with Made of Things, like our face on pagebook. Exactly. Like our again, I'm absolutely not able to say phrase book. Like. Well, you know, like our page on Facebook, which is Made of Things Pod. Also, please follow on Twitter at Made of Things Pod, and follow also on Instagram at Made of Things. And leave a bunch of hearts there. You know, double tap all of that. Tap all of that. Double tap all of that. With your bros. Double tap with your bros. Double tap in tandem. Double tap them. There's no pun. There's no pun there. Okay, so on the show this week, we have the great Merrill Garbus of tUnE-yArDs. Let's go check Wikipedia. tUnE-yArDs, parentheses, stylized as tUnE-yArDs, parentheses, bracket, one bracket, is the music project of New England native Merrill Garbus. When performing live, Garbus creates drum loops on the spot and layers these with ukulele and vocals, in addition to electric bass played by Nat Brenner. Brackets to bracket. There we go. Okay, so maybe we'll be doing this again. I don't know. I never plan. This is a lie. That's a lie. Okay, so I met Merle for the first time at Vodafone Mesh Fest over here in Lisbon this past winter. It was somewhat cold and rainy, but it does not Jon Snow, no spoilers. If you've never had the chance to catch a tUnE-yArDs show, please do. They're really great, always. I've seen them quite a few times now, and they're always pretty great. They're always great. There's no euphemism over here. The last show of them I saw was just a few weeks ago at Primavera Sound in Barcelona, which I've mentioned quite a lot on this show, if not always. I think so. I'm not counting, but I talk about Primavera Sound in Barcelona a lot, and there's a reason for that, which is it's really good, and it's always good. It's always the best. Always the best. Always the best. No, it's always really good. Okay, so please enjoy my talk with Merrill Garbus of tUnE-yArDs. I'll be back later. Sometimes the on-off button is the most difficult.
Yeah.
Hi, Merrill.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing excellent. How about you?
Really well, thanks.
With your tea, or
my tea, very important.
What's it of?
It's called Throat Comfort Tea.
Oh.
Yes, very, very soothing for the throat.
And is it comforting?
Very, yeah. I find I'm even a little too relaxed.
That's not what you usually want before a show, I guess.
No, exactly. Yeah, a little too sleepy.
Everything is like in 70 RPM, or I don't know.
I know. Well, don't say that because it probably is true tonight. But tonight, if it's true, it's because Nate was telling me the other day that that in places that are big, and this place that we're playing tonight is, you do the drum and it goes boom, boom, like that. And if that's the case, you're supposed to play a little bit slower because it takes time for the rhythm to hit the opposite wall. So maybe things will be a little slower tonight.
Oh, so like I don't know. No water in the water fountain. You're probably getting more tom-toms for the next tour, I guess.
Now I'm worried.
No, please don't. So I just found out you have like one of the world's best DJs as your tour manager, DJ Fitz.
I thought you were going to say one of the world's best DJs playing after, which we also are. I mean, DJ Marfox is playing, who I think is an amazing DJ. But it's true, one of the best DJs in the world is our tour manager. It's true.
Not DJ Marfox or DJ Negafox, because actually they play. We're playing the Príncipe nights in Portugal, because it's something that happens in Portugal, in Lisbon actually, once the first Saturday of every month. And it's an amazing night out.
I wish I could see them tonight, because I think I'll need to be. We have to wake up early in the morning, but I wish I lived in. I think I need to come back to Lisbon for Lisboa.
Or you can stay another week and you'll get the first night.
No, I wish. But no, DJ Fitz is our tour manager, at least as long as we can keep him. Once he gets to be a famous, highly paid DJ, then no more working for us.
No, sure. No, but I'm sure you would.
But every van ride is music from all over the world.
Oh, cool. But why are you not staying another week? What's holding you?
Well, first of all we play in España tomorrow.
Okay.
I shouldn't say it, but then we go home and we have shows in New York in a couple days after that. Sure. Alas, I wish I could. Yeah. But maybe in the summer is better.
Yes, actually it is. Yeah. Actually, we've been flooding over here. So.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's just horrible.
Ridiculously flash floods. It's very it floods for like 30 minutes and then it's gone.
Right, but it ruins a lot in the meantime. Yeah.
But it makes no sense, and it rarely happens over here. So.
Well, I think we're starting this organization having to deal with water, and I think that water, because of the song Water Fountain, has been on my mind a lot this year. So I think the state of water is changing all over the world with climate change. So it's not just here. In California also there was a big drought, and then all these flash floods that are you think, why? There's hardly any water. Why would we have floods? But that's how it happens.
There are a lot of fountains in California, right?
Water fountains, drinking fountains. Okay. Yeah.
So not just decorative.
No, there's actually can't remember one. There's one we live by a lake, and there's one that's powered by the sun, and it takes the water from the lake and it just goes like that.
See, but that's good. You have your priorities in check there.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Because not to trash talk Barcelona, but Barcelona, they spend a lot of money just like on fountains and stuff. So this makes it like we need running water for decorative purposes, and so it's expensive. But they don't care. We're Barcelona. We're Catalans, so but it's a great city. Yeah, we love it.
It is. It is. Yeah. Alas.
So. And Nicky Knack. It's funny because the album sounds very knick-knacky in a way. When did you come up with the title? Was there a particular moment?
Knick-knacky. Does it mean anything in Portuguese?
Bugigangas.
Bugigangas.
Yes, it's a very, 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 very uncommon word, I guess.
Is it like onomatopoeia? Like the sounds mean. I mean.
Yes. Onomatopoeia is the same in Portuguese.
Okay.
But no. Unfortunately not. Bugigangas is like knick-knack. Yeah. It's the same thing.
Okay. Well, I came up with it later on because it was called Cinco for a long time, and Cinco, I worried that if the album didn't do well, then they'd be like, Cinco is a stinko. So I decided against that. So, because if you get too close. So I had my friend Alex, who did the artwork for the album. She went through all the lyrics and picked out all the interesting sounding things, and she said "Nicky Knack" which was a lyric from one of the songs Left Behind, and I was kind of like, I think that could be it. And I like it because it's a woman's name, kind of, but it also is like knickknacks, and it has a kind of children's quality to it that I really like.
So all of a sudden you can do like Nicky Knack Padwhack.
Yeah. Which is probably an old racist song I heard from England, maybe, about Irish people. Nick Knack Paddywhack, give a dog a bone. This old man came rolling home. I think maybe it's about a drunk Irishman, but I don't know.
Then again, like 70% of everything that's passed is kind of racy.
I know, and it's really important to know the stories, I think. But it's true. There's a lot of racism and general discrimination that happens around the world.
I'm not sure why, but I just when I was preparing the interview, I was thinking like, are you aware of like, because of the comedy relation you have, or at least have since the Comedy Bang Bang podcast, but we'll get there later. It's something that. Do you have a lot of? It seems like you have a lot of like Native American influence in your music, for instance. Do you feel that?
I don't know a lot of Native American music. I know what I was brought up with was old-timey music, which is music from the mountain regions of the eastern part of the states, and that's old. Basically European settlers who became the hill folk of that area. So that's what I grew up with, and then I have my ears are big, so most of the music that I've been interested in comes from different parts of Africa, Mali and East African pop music from the 80s and 90s and South Africa.
And how do you get in touch with that?
Just like, it kind of depends. I mean, some music is just from listening, having DJ Fitz around all the time, and some music I've been more in depth with, like going to studying Haitian music in California where we live, and then I went to Haiti. So that's more getting in depth with studying the rhythms and getting to know the language of a different culture. But a lot of it's just listening,
Do you think there's a scene like in the US of African beats and stuff like that? Because for instance, I have a friend who's DJ Whitney Fierce, who plays a lot of African things, like has for a while now, for like past 5 or 6 years. Do you think there's a whole thing going on?
Well, I think in DJ culture, there's definitely like who has the next thing that nobody else has. So I think we have a lot more exposure to every kind of music, and I think people have been interested in all sorts of music forever, but now we have the most access to all of that music. So I don't know. Sometimes I love DJs, but sometimes I distrust the culture of, well, what do I see with the crazy record I found in the bottom of that kind of stuff. So sometimes I worry that they're fads, but the real DJs, DJ Fitz being one, I think, who really has an appreciation for great music, no matter where it comes from or when it comes from. But I think in general we have access to a lot more overall. So I don't know if it's African in general, but I know that it's in some ways it's the next frontier for DJs, you know what I mean? And that can be interesting and also scary.
Sure. And also, but there's the opposite. Then, for instance, like a few years ago, Jay Dilla was like using stuff from Steve Howe from Yes albums, solo albums, like tracks that aren't even singles, like no one knows, like absolutely stuff you just won't recognize anyway, in any way if you're not like a progressive rock fan or something, which is fun because you're playing for hip hop people usually most of the time. But anyways, apart from that. Real
beat makers and samplers and DJs are geniuses at that, and that's I get a criticism that I think is the same, which is, well, how can you steal from other cultures? And that is happening all the time. I mean, musicians who are really musicians listen so intently, you know, and that sense of listening just to any kind of music at all and taking it in and realizing that as you listen, you're becoming a better musician. That I think happens all the time. I think that the issue comes in with the compensation. You know, that's why, you know, hip hop producers get sued so much, is that people say, where's my money, you know? And in certain cases, like Selda, the Turkish musician who we played right before her at the Guess Who festival in Utrecht. And
excellent festival, by the way.
Yes,
sure.
Le Guess Who. And she was sampled by Mos Def on his last album. And it's a sick sample, you know, but I don't think that she got paid for that. And that's the kind of thing that if someone has, it's very expensive for producers to pay for that kind of thing. And I'm, you know, there's always a lack of money when it comes down to things like that, getting sued for hundreds of thousands of dollars maybe. But anyway, I think Selda deserves the attention at the very least, you know, and I guess at least she may have gotten that, but she's a musician that no one in the States knows about, and I don't know, there's that sense of how do you compensate a musician for something so core that you're taking from them, and it comes up with me. I mean, people say, how can you, you know. We're good. Yeah. We're talking about you.
Yes, we were talking about you earlier. Sure
you are, but they're videotaping. Yeah, come on in.
We were actually talking about you earlier during the interview. Yeah. There you go. So there you go. You got mentioned.
Yeah, he's bringing me my dinner.
Excellent.
I get asked a lot about, you know, well, you're appropriating Haitian music, or you're appropriating Afrobeat, or, you know, and I am. I mean, that I'm taking parts of that style of music, and I think
you can tell when it isn't a gimmick, right? Like you can tell when it's for the music and not for not gimmicky, you know.
I don't know. Good to hear, but I mean, I think for a lot of people, no. I think for some people, it's not okay, and for me, it's just what I naturally do, and the music that I want to listen to, and the music that I want to make. But I do think that there become these issues of, you know, then how do I choose to give back to that music, you know? And maybe for me, there are very specific ways, you know. We get to start this charitable fund that we can give back where we think money should go, or the people that taught us Haitian music, we've given back to them in certain ways. So I think it's always an issue, and it'll always be that issue in music, you know. Whose music is this? Why do you have a right to this music? It's not your music. And I think it's good that we have those conversations.
And in the end, it's cultural property, like, so it's good to mix stuff up and with other stuff, I guess, pardon the lack of eloquence, but yeah, there you go.
But I mean, for instance, like Mar Fox we're about to release a remix that he did of Water Fountain, and it was him and Perles Negras. How do you say that?
Perlas Negras, yeah.
Perlas Negras.
Sorry, no, Portuguese is difficult, yeah. Pérolas negras. Pérolas negras.
Pérolas negras.
Yeah, there you go.
It's so hard.
Yes,
Pérolas negras.
We're right. Yeah, it is.
I'll try. So in that case.
Okay. I guess we're doing 15 minutes. Yeah, that's what they're calling us.
Cool.
Yeah, sure.
In that case, getting them to collaborate, and then having our audience know more about what's happening in Portugal with this scene of music, and then what's happening in Brazil with that scene of music, that becomes a really cool conversation between scenes, you know. And I love that. I think that's the great part about combining and taking from each other.
Absolutely. About stuff on the album, like you have excellent songs, like Time of Dark is possibly one of the most my favorite. Time of Dark is one of my favorite songs of the year, and there's stuff like Hey Life and Real Thing. So I wanted to ask you, are you okay?
Am I okay?
Yes, they seem very.
Do I look okay?
Yes.
I'm okay. Yeah.
Was it a difficult time for you in the past or something? It seems like very...
Yeah. But I mean, no more difficult than any other human being, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I choose to write songs in order to get over things, and some people choose, I don't know, alcohol or partying or writing or talking with friends, you know. I think that's my form of expression. But thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
I think I
care.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, it's so rewarding, really, to go. I mean, we've seen the world in the past month. We've seen, I mean, not the world. We've seen Europe. But we've seen Estonia and Latvia, and coming back here I love playing in Portugal, and I really wish that we had more time. Okay. But yeah, life it's really good to get the perspective on life and really be so grateful that I get to, you know, be interviewed. Who cares what I think, really?
There you go. Who cares what anyone thinks? We're all gonna die. This got really grim all of a sudden.
So let's talk about comedy.
Yes, let's talk about Comedy Bang Bang. Okay, so last question. Okay, so like the last thing I wanted to mention, like, was because you were on Comedy Bang Bang, like, and this year, and one of the most, I don't know, joyful episodes of this year's podcast, I guess. Was it the first time you were interviewed by a drunk English rollerblading actor
Christmas tree? Yes.
I think I got all of them.
First time ever.
Ever. That was really wacky, wasn't it?
Yeah, totally wacky. I have not listened to it because I can't, because the whole time I was like, because there's no, they base it, I don't know, because I'm not funny, you know, but
of course you are.
Well, but like not that funny. I'm not,
well,
you know.
Who's that funny?
It was just a weird thing, because sometimes you don't know if you're supposed to play the person who's not funny in order for the people to be funny, to be more funny. But then I kind of was like, no, I'm not going to be this one that you make fun of.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're really nice guys. They don't make fun of anybody.
Anyway, they're not going to tell you anyways.
Exactly. And I listened to Annie from St. Vincent. She had done it before, and so I listened.
She was so uncomfortable.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I listened to hers before, and I was like, okay, if Annie can do it, I can do it. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll do it. Yeah.
I think actually she had like the most uncomfortable time ever on the show, during the show. Like, she was audibly uncomfortable, which was weird. But
I haven't asked her about it. I should ask her how it really was. Some things that you're at, this is cool, this interview, but sometimes we're like, you have an interview, and then you get into a room and you're like, oh, you know, what am I doing here? Who are you?
And you're throwing curveballs all of a sudden.
Exactly. Like a rollerblading Christmas tree. Yeah.
Yes. Most curvingest of balls. There you go. Thank you so much for your time, Merrill. Thank you. We did a huge thank you. We did a huge interview, like 20 minutes. Sorry, Nunu. This got really interesting. Sorry.
Cool. Well,
thank you so much.
Yeah, good to meet you.
I love the new album, absolutely.
Yay.
And there you have it. So while I should mention all the social media, I'll spare you all the buzzwords and buzz media things. So what I suggest is that you should go back to the beginning of the podcast and check out all of the social media at which you can follow us, because I've already mentioned all of that. And something else you should do is listen to all the past episodes. We have great stuff with Mike Watt, Shabazz Palaces, Bonnie Prince Billy, to name but a few. Or, in this case, all of the few. That's all of them so far. And listen to this one, Merrill Garbus. So please come back next week, and thanks for listening, guys.